I am Squidward. I am suicide. Hey there. What? You heard something? I didn't hear anything. I didn't sing anything. I was definitely not singing anything. What are you talking about? Shut up. Yeah, we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Anyways, welcome back to the SpongeBoy Horoscope. Today is going to be a tad bit different because, along with the original media that we're going to be talking about, we're going to also be talking about a bit of a retake. Why? Because the original media kinda sucks. But hey, it's not as bad as the bleeding-eyed hedgehog one. You know what I'm talking about. And yes, I will be talking about that in a future video. Fair warning though, I'm gonna be straight up tearing that story to shreds. Okay, enough fooling around, let's just get into it already. Okay? Okay. We stumble across a lot of horror stories on the internet sometimes, especially when we're children. And there's always been those types of media that scared us when we were kids, but looking back on the story now, we just aren't afraid of it anymore. And it can be for many reasons. It could be that we just got so brave that horror doesn't really scare us anymore, or what we once knew back then was actually just a piece of garbage. In this episode of the SpongeBoy Horoscope, we're going to be talking about a creepypasta that didn't really age too well, honestly. But we're also going to be talking about a retake to that creepypasta that makes it better. Hope you're ready, because it's going to be a bit of a wild ride. The story starts with an intern talking about their experience at Nickelodeon in the year of 2005. The intern would work with the animators and the editors at the company, being able to watch episodes early before they even released. Sometimes those episodes would have joke names before release just for the sake of laughs. So when they found an episode called Squidward's Suicide, nobody really bat an eye, thinking they were going to watch an early version of Fear the Krabby Patty. Little did they know, that was not the case at all. The episode itself starts with Squidward practicing his clarinet for his clarinet recital, only to be interrupted by SpongeBob playing outside. Squidward then tells him to keep it down as he has a clarinet recital tomorrow. SpongeBob then apologized for his interruptions and went to go find Sandy and Patrick. And Squidward goes back to practicing for his recital. The episode then cuts to the recital, and Squidward is playing his clarinet. However, the audience didn't like it, and started booing at him. Even SpongeBob was there, booing Squidward. However, there was something extremely off. The audience had these red glowing eyes, and Squidward was visibly afraid. The episode then cuts to Squidward in his bed. No form of noise or sound, just Squidward sitting there on his bed. Squidward then covers his eyes and starts to sob. The camera slowly zooms in on Squidward as his sobs begin to get louder and louder. The only form of sound was Squidward sobbing and a small sound of wind. And as the episode goes on, there was always a cut frame from the episode. Going through these frames revealed corpses of dead children, shocking everyone in the room. One even threatened to get the creator of SpongeBob involved, Stephen Hillenburg. As the episode continues, the sound of the wind began to get louder and louder, and blood started to spill from Squidward's face. He then removes his hands from his eyes. They were the same eyes as the audience. Red, glowing, disturbing, and completely out of place. During one of the pauses of the episode, one of the editors did what they promised and brought in Stephen Hillenburg himself. He was confused at first, wondering why he was called in. You could tell he wasn't ready for what he was about to witness. The episode still focused on Squidward. However, a voice was suddenly heard in the background. After that, Squidward is suddenly seen with a shotgun. He then shoots himself in the head. The episode ends with Squidward's corpse just laying there on the bed. After that, there was an ongoing investigation for the episode, mainly because of the corpses of the children. However, nothing ever came of it. No leads, no identification of the children, nothing. Leaving the nature of this entire episode a complete mystery. Alright, I know what you're thinking. This is technically not Red Mist, but rather the creepypasta that came before it, Squidward's suicide. However, I have this to say. Red Mist is literally the exact same story, but with Patrick in it and that damn Scottish fish. So yeah, I can confidently tell you, I do not give a flying fuck. It's literally the same story. So, yeah. Okay, now I assume this is the time that I tell you all how it scares us, but instead I'm gonna tell you how it doesn't scare us. Better yet, how it fails to scare us. Yep, that sounded so much better. Anyways, let's just get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is the many cliches in this creepypasta. I did everything I could during the summary of this creepypasta not to say anything like hyper-realistic or anything like that. Why? Because, like, it's not scary. I hate to tell you, like, it's not scary at all. Just because something has hyper-realisticism and spooky upload doesn't mean it's scary. I'd see so many creepypastas do this shit, and it's not scary at all. It's annoying, it makes the story absolutely unbearable, and every time I see it, I want to slam my head in a brick wall. That's how tired of it I am. And can we also talk about how much they try to scare us with goddamn shock value? I just want to ask you a simple question. Like, a very simple question. Was it necessary at all to put in the dead children? At all? If you said yes, congratulations, you're a fucking idiot! Calm down, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't understand why anyone would think that this is necessary for the story. And I'm not saying dead children in horror doesn't work. Five Nights at Freddy's and Where Bad Kids Go is the best example of that. My problem for it being in Red Mist is that, well, there's no reason for it other than shock value. It has nothing to do with the story, like, at all. It's just there to scare you. It's meaningless, and it doesn't work. Genuinely the best example of how NOT to do it. Oh boy. Being negative really isn't for me, but yet here I am. So how about we talk about something positive? Like the image that goes with this creepypasta. This image is genuinely the scariest part of this entire creepypasta. It's just those eyes. They just stare right into your soul. It's creepy, unsettling, genuinely gave me nightmares as a kid. I absolutely love the image. I just wish that the story was just as good as it. But luckily, my prayers have been answered, because we're not done. Now it's time to talk about the retake of Red Mist. By none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Vibingleaf. Alright, time to start back up the creepy music. Let's go. We're not quite done yet. It was another day in Bikini Bottom. Squidward was practicing for his upcoming clarinet recital tonight. That is, until he hears a knock at his door. He goes to check it out, and he's greeted by a Scottish fish, asking him if he's interested in buying something. only for Squidward to slam the door after stating he's not interested. But before he could go back to what he was doing, the door knocks again. Squidward opens the door once again, about to scold the Scottish fish, only to be greeted with a strange yet disturbing sight. The Scottish fish was now in front of Squidward, staring right at him. The fish seemed extremely off, as there was something wrong with his eyes, and he wouldn't stop talking about something called the red mist. The Scottish fish then disappears in thin air, as if he was never there at all. Squidward decided to pay no mind to this and returned to practicing for his clarinet recital. However, he is once again interrupted, this time by his next-door neighbors, SpongeBob and Patrick. Squidward then opens his window and tells SpongeBob and Patrick to keep it down. Later that night, Squidward's clarinet recital is about to start. Squidward was completely nervous, but he knew he had to go out there and give them the show they've been waiting for. The recital starts. Squidward thanks everyone for coming, and then starts to play his clarinet. However, the crowd didn't seem to like his music, and started to head towards the exit, leaving Squidward alone in the building. After that, Squidward walks home, depressed and humiliated. He heads to bed, hoping that he can just sleep this off. Later that night, a red glow starts to appear from Squidward's window. Squidward then gets out of bed and starts smiling? But why? What is there to smile about right now? Squidward then covers his head as everything around him starts to change. Something was clearly wrong. His room didn't even look like his room anymore. Even his own appearance didn't look the same. But that was the least of his problems, because right now, he wasn't alone. Something was in the room with him. Squidward then screams and falls back, desperately trying to get away from the thing that is in the room with him. But all Squidward could do was sit there in fear. There was nowhere to go. There was also no way to fight back. Squidward then finds himself back in his room, as if the whole thing didn't happen. Squidward just sat there in fear, not knowing what to do anymore. He didn't know what to believe. He didn't know what was happening anymore. He just wanted the nightmare to end, but there didn't seem to be a way for that to happen. Unless he now knows what he must do. Squidward takes the shotgun and shoots himself. All that remained left in the room was Squidward's rotting corpse and the shotgun he used. That was simply just amazing. Stuff like this is why I appreciate Vibingleaf as an artist and a storyteller, and his retake on Red Mist has to be one of my favorite ones to this day. The visuals, the sound design, everything about this video just sends a shiver down my spine. It genuinely feels like an unfinished SpongeBob episode. It gives us this giant mystery on what the Red Mist really is, and is even accurate to the episode from the original creepypasta. It really just takes it and makes it better. That, right there, is how you scare people. Well, this video is pretty long for what it is, so I think I'm just gonna call it here. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you got spooked. If not, that's fine. I just hope you enjoyed it anyway. If you like what you see here, don't forget to go check out my other videos and subscribe to the channel. But only if you want to. I'm not gonna force you into doing something you don't want to do. Also, don't forget to check out Vibingleaf. He does amazing things. And of course, I wish you all a great night and sweet dreams. Ah!